Hey guys, what's going on? In this video, I'm going to go over 4 tickers that I'm going to look to trade this week. These will be the only 4 tickers that I'm looking at this week for this watch list for December 10th, 2018. So, if you don't know who I am, my name is James Mason. I am a successful stock trader. If you're looking to learn how to trade, I have a free 8-hour course in the playlist. Check that out. I am working on a mini series for how I trade options. I know I've been saying this for a while. I gotta wrap it up, but it will be released sometime soon. So let's get into it. So for the first ticker, this is ticker SNA. What I always do when I'm looking to make swing trades, or even my day trades, I always start off with looking at the 1 year, 1 day chart to give me a good idea, if this is a uptrending or downtrending, stock. So let me zoom out. This is the 1 year, 1 day chart. And if you look at these daily candlesticks for this ticker, you see this is a perfect setup in my opinion. You see these highs and lows and just these dips. So this kind of gives me an idea of how this is looking. So if you look right here, this section right here, this is what you call a lower high. So let's zoom back in. Alright, so right here, this is December 7th. This was the last trading day. And tomorrow, with some of the things in the news dealing with United States and China, I expect the market to gap down. Now, if it does gap down, this initial support will become the next resistance. So what I'll do is I'll give you the numbers for the following supports and resistances, just so if it does blow past these numbers, you can just come back to this video and just write them down, and that way you'll have a good idea of your supports and resistances. So right here, for this daily candlestick, it actually bounced off of 150. I got it marked down right there at 150.08, but that's just kind of due to the little bit of the fluctuation of starting way back here at the beginning of the year and just clicking it. Could be right on. So basically it bounced off of 150 and pulled back up right here to 151 to close the day out. Now, that's its support currently. Now, currently, the resistance sits right here at 151.44. So, basically, 151.50. And if tomorrow does gap down and it breaks this 150, 150 will then become the new support. What I will look for tomorrow is when the market opens, if it starts, to spike, because you'll have all that volatility when the market opens. And I'll show you. Let me just go to the 5-minute chart. I always trade, when I'm day trading, I trade off the 5-minute chart, or when I'm trying to make my entry, I always go off the 5-minute chart. And so, okay, here we are at market open, and let me change something real quick. Okay, so here we are at the 5-minute chart. This is on Friday now, and I'm just showing you kind of like what I'm looking for right here. If I was trading this on Friday, what I would look for was how it was trading in the pre-market and how it opened. So on this first candlestick, since this week I am looking to just trade put contracts just with the market sentiment, what I would have looked for here is for it to spike up, and I would have known that this resistance sat at $156.58. So it broke past, it hit this high right here, and this next candlestick, it gapped down a little bit, and it went back up, and then over here, it went below it. And so I would have looked for this candlestick right here, and that's where I would have nailed it. And once I would have nailed it right there, well, let me just back up just a second. So as this candlestick started off, I'm going to be looking right here on the MACD. As these candlesticks start shallowing out, I want to see these these MACD candlesticks shallow out to where it's starting to reverse. And right here on the RSI, same thing. It was hot when it opened, and then it broke through, and this is what I want to see. I want to see confirmation that this is going down. Now, is everything 100%? Absolutely not. This could have, went down for one candlestick and bounced. But this right here, it struggled at this resistance. I mean, it did go past it, but it got rejected. And so this candlestick, I would have bought in right here, and I would have watched it, and my next thing I would have looked for on the Bollinger Band lines is this middle line. Is it going to bounce off this middle line? And right here, it appeared that way, but, I would have had a, pretty decent entry up here, and I would have still been all right. So I would have watched it for one more candlestick, and just to see if it would have broke through. And as this broke through, I'd have watched this candlestick, and then right here, that would have been confirmation that this thing for real is going down. And then my next thing I would have looked at for the Bollinger Bands now is it going to bounce off the bottom Bollinger Band line? And right here, you can just see how it acted, and it just kind of bounced back and forth like a ping pong ball, and it came down to this next resistance right here at 153, well 153.33, and you can actually see where it was bouncing off of this resistance, and support, and it came up and it was getting pinched right here with this middle line, and so it ended up breaking through this support and shot down, and it just kept doing this. And so over here, if you're looking now, this is now a resistance. It comes up and it gets rejected again. And so that's basically what I would look for throughout the day if I was day trading this. Now let me go back to the daily chart, and so if this thing opens up below 150, I want to see it do that. I want to see it get rejected off of the 150 price line. And if it gets rejected off that 150, that's when I'm going to enter, and I want to write it down to as close as 148 that I can, and I'm going to sell right there. And once I sell somewhere right in there, or unless if something crazy happens and it just starts reversing, that will just kind of depend on other things in the market. But I'm gonna, hopefully I can write this down to 148, but I'm gonna sell right there if I do, or near there, and I'm gonna watch it to see if it breaks that 148, And if it's struggling right there at 148, and if it breaks it, I'm going to short it again with put options. And then that next support is 143.58. So if I can nail this under 150, write it down to 148, go ahead and lock in my profits, see if it breaks 148 again throughout this week, and then hopefully I can ride this thing down near 143 from 148. That would be an amazing trade if this worked out this way for this ticker throughout the whole week. So the next one, now these next three tickers will go a little bit quicker since I had to spend a few minutes talking about it on the daily chart. But since you have the idea on how I trade and what I look for now, we can skip over all that and just get into it. So this next one, ticker CI. So right here on its last trading day, it closed out at $206.11. You know, let's see, it broke through this support at 206.14, and it went down actually to, what does it say the lowest is, to 204.27, and then, you know, it reversed and went back up, and it just kind of closed out right there at that resistance / support line, because it's literally right on it. So again, tomorrow with this setup and with the way the market is, I expect the market to gap down. So, you know, we'll talk about this first line right here. So if it breaks through this support, this will obviously become the new resistance at 206.14. I want to see it struggle right there, and then I would like to write it down to 202.39. Now, if it would just say gap down to right here, you know, at its low at 204, I'm going to have to watch for what I just showed you on the 5-minute chart. I'm going to have to see it go up, and what will probably happen is if it's making a bullish run, it will go up and start struggling around 206, and I want to see it get rejected then. And then I'll take that position there and hopefully can write it down to 202.39. Now, if it happened to blow past 202.39, the next support becomes 198.99. So we'll just say 199. So that's what I'll be looking for there. And you know, and just like the last ticker I talked about, if it just keeps blowing through these, that's how I'm going to keep trading this. So I'll actually go one more support level for you. So that one right there was 199. This one right here is 195.77. So I definitely don't see it breaking past any further than that this week. That would just be a lot of price action in 1 week. The next one, AMD. Let me zoom in just a little bit more. All right. So AMD, it broke through 1995 on December 7th, and it went down. Its low was 1917, and then, you know, it kind of made its little bounce back up and closed out at 1946. So its current resistance sits at 1995, so basically $20, and its current support sits at 1896. We'll just say $19. Now, if this gaps down tomorrow, and I don't foresee this happening. It could gap down below 19, but good chance it won't. It'll probably gap down closer to 19. And what I'll look for is it to break 19, and I want to see it struggle and not get past 19. And that's when I'll take my position and the next support sits at 18.25, and then the fallen support sits at 17.09. So for the final one, ticker AAPL, and right here, this one closed out at 168.49 and its low was 168.30. So right here, for this day, because it actually had sat right between a support and a resistance. It's just kind of one of those plays that you gotta watch out for. But again, I really think the market is going to gap down tomorrow, and we'll see how that transpires. So currently, this resistance sits at 175.39 and the support sits at 166.49. Now, if this thing gaps down tomorrow, and if it gaps down below this support of 166.49, then I'm gonna wait for it to struggle to make sure that it is not breaking past and hanging out over that 166.49 mark, and hopefully I can tag and make that entry, because the next support level is $161.14. So that's what I'm looking for this week for put contracts. I hope this helps everyone who watches this. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel. That way you can see my other videos. Hit the notification button. That way you'll actually get an update on it, because YouTube is not notifying people, letting them know that any of the YouTubers are making videos for a large majority. So again, I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and I will see you in the next one.